Hi, everybody. It's Tracy Lewin.
And Peter Murray. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Peter. Well, welcome to our new weekly report on the price, on the
Yeah,
Bitcoin price.
yes, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what moved the Bitcoin price in the last week, and hopefully we can predict, or should I say prophesize, which is the buzzword these days, although I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin prophet, about what the prices are going to do in the next week. So we're going to
Yes,
try to talk a little bit more about price because we have so many questions about this.
absolutely. So, we've seen, honestly, over the last, if you look at this graph, the Bitcoin price has just been doing amazingly well from August.
Yeah, the Bitcoin price has been really going up, and it's very interesting to see what the price drivers are at the moment. I think the biggest driver of prices have been geopolitics, you know,
Yes.
and then
Mm-hmm.
the big things that's been happening is, as we all know, is Brexit, and of course the American elections, and now what's been driving it lately is this whole demonetization of the Indian economy.
Correct. And also, news in today's in Venezuela, their fiat currency actually dived 45% in a month.
Yes, and this is driving up Bitcoin prices. If we talk about outliers, I just saw a little while ago in Nigeria, Bitcoin prices are now, the actual Nigerian currency has been very, very strong. But people are afraid that the currency might dive again, so they're putting money in Bitcoin. Bitcoin prices in Nigeria are $1,245.
Oh my goodness gracious. And
So
you know
it's
what?
it's the highest premium that's ever been against against prices on exchanges. Exchange price at the moment, as you can see, are at 740. So
Yeah, and you know what, Peter, the interesting thing is, when you want to buy some Bitcoin, you're not going to pay the price that you actually see here, 740. You are going to pay more than that. And then often, if you're in a country like, let's say, India was also paying, up to 900, past $900 this week for Bitcoin. So it does determine, it does depend where you are in the world. You can't just get these prices.
well, the thing is, there's a lot of stuff going on in India, and I think the big thing now is, they've taken these small notes out of the circulation to try to combat tax evasion, and people are running to something they can use. But I think a big driver can be now they're looking at banning, or there's rumors that they might ban private gold imports into India, which will be
Okay.
huge. Um, so I'm not
Actually,
sure
you
if
know what?
if yes.
No, that's interesting, because I was looking at a graph just a while ago, and it was about gold, and gold purchases have been exceeding what gold is being taken out of the ground, and all of that gold is actually going to Russia, to China, to India, and in fact, a lot of it was also going to Turkey.
It's very, very interesting that. But uh, if the government are really serious about tax evasion and people start, one thing that we have to watch is they could ban Bitcoin as well, and that would be quite interesting. So that's something that I would keep an eye on. But they say that any potential ban on gold or gold imports is a few months away. So I'm not sure if that's just a rumor or that's going to be true. But that's definitely some of the geopolitical events we have to watch. And then
Yes.
also, of course, we have to watch the economy. The UK GDP just came out. It rose 0.5% in the third quarter, and the news headlines saying is what Brexit effect. But there's a lot of calls now from John Major, Tony Blair, ex-prime ministers, and especially the Labour Party ex-prime ministers for probably a second referendum. I'm not sure if this is ever going to happen, but this is something people are talking about
Well, the
actively in the
Brexit
UK now.
the Brexit's going through to the Supreme Court in sometime in December, but obviously we'll only hear more about that in the new year.
Actual fact is, I think we'll have a decision sooner than people think. There's a very big consensus that the government cannot win this, so they will have to go to Parliament. So I think we might get an announcement on this before the end of the year. And then besides the UK, obviously, the other big driver is what's happening in the US and the policies that Donald Trump might put in the market and stuff like this. So I think overall, you know, the US dollar has just made a multi-year high against most currencies. And the reason for this is a rising interest rates that are imminent in the US, and the rest of the world will follow. The interesting thing is, Tracy, even though the US dollar has strengthened, the Bitcoin prices have remained strong, which actually means Bitcoin is stronger than normal. I've looked a little bit at some technical analysis for our guys. People are seeing strong resistance on Bitcoin at 760, and they see a possible retracement to 680 if the price weakens. So those are the two levels to watch. So the expectation is that Bitcoin will trade between 760 and 680 for the next few weeks. But if you look at the volume on this chart, every time there's, you know, price comes down, there's volume buying. So the definitely underpinning of demand. So
Yes.
that is the geopolitical events. And then obviously the other event is the actual Bitcoin adoption and, you know, the blockchain adoption and things like this, which is also very, very strong. But we'll talk about that as the weeks come on. But I think in the coming week, you know, a lot of the news of usage and stuff like that is in the market. I think the major driver until the end of the year will be geopolitical effects, and the two places to watch would be India and China, and of course, you know, the US and the UK.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you, Peter. So, yeah. So now, Prophet Peter, where do you believe the Bitcoin price is going to be next week?
So are you going to ask me every week to make a prediction and then give me a score? Now, just want to say, making a short-term prediction is almost impossible. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes, and the first thing that pops in my head, I'm going to say, and I'm going to say the first number that popped in my head was 684. How's that for a prediction?
684.
You didn't want to hear this?
No, I didn't want to hear that. I think it's going to be 760.
Tracy, to be honest, I think you'll probably be right. But I wanted to, you know, to say something controversial. So maybe somebody, let's ask our readers what they prophesize. Put something in the comments and tell us what you think the price is going to be next week. And here's something, the person that actually predicts the price perfectly in the comments will give away a 0.1 Bitcoin. I just decided that. How's that for something?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's a brilliant idea, Peter. Yeah. Let's get some excitement going.
Yes. So there's a competition for you. But we need an accurate prediction in the comments. So let's see if anybody comments there, and the comment will be the comments on your blog. So you have to go to our blog and comment there, and we'll have a look. Who's ever closest might win something.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan, Peter.
Sounds like a plan.
It sounds like a very good plan. So we'll talk again next week.